Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. Khalid Sheikh Mohammed gets a break. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. Mohammed, the al-Qaeda big shot involved in planning the 9/11 atrocity, is perhaps the biggest terrorist ever captured by America. As you may know, he was waterboarded and gave up some of his al-Qaeda colleagues who were then taken into custody. For the past 3 years, Mohammed has been imprisoned at Guantanamo Bay, where he should have been tried in front of a military tribunal. The man is a war criminal. He killed thousands of civilians. That's what war criminals do. It's hard to believe the Obama administration doesn't understand that. So now Mohammed will be tried in a New York City civilian court, and New York Congressman Peter King is outraged.
Absolutely no purpose to be gained by this. It's going to put Americans at risk, and probably most importantly, it's going to be giving constitutional rights to war criminals who are not entitled to them. This, I think, will go down as one of the worst decisions any president has ever made.
But the Obama administration sees it differently.
I'm a prosecutor myself. I've looked at the evidence. I've considered the problems that these cases present. And I'm quite confident that we're going to be successful in the prosecution efforts. To the extent that there are political consequences, I'll just have to take my lumps to the extent that those are sent my way.
And there will be lumps. Talking Points believes that Khalid Sheikh Mohammed will not be on trial in New York City. Waterboarding and the CIA will be. The exposition is likely to be a fiasco. It will take years. It will cost tens of millions of taxpayer dollars. Again, why are we doing this? Do you think the 9/11 families want to see a circus? Do you think they appreciate the fact that an al-Qaeda killer and his lawyers will get to spew all kinds of anti-American propaganda, because that's what's going to happen? President Obama should explain this thoroughly. Instead, the announcement is made while he's in Asia. Does that tell you something? Why didn't he wait until he got back? I'll tell you why. Because this is indefensible. War criminals should be tried by military people. If you don't know about the trials at Nuremberg, look them up. Hermann Goering was not taken to New York City and tried before a civilian jury because that would have been insane, just as this is. And that's a memo. Now for the top story tonight, we'll have both sides of the debate, beginning with Fox News analyst Karl Rove, who joins us now from Austin, Texas. I want you to look into the future a little bit. How bad do you think this decision is going to be for Barack Obama, coming on the heels of Fort Hood and the terrorism debate there? How bad do you think it's going to be?
At the end of this, we will see that this was an utter, unmitigated disaster for the security of the United States and for the interests of the United States in the dangerous world we live in. The sanctimonious comments by Attorney General Holder today are simply that, sanctimonious and self-serving and self-centered. What we ought to be concerned about here is what is in the interest of the United States of America. And Bill, you nailed it absolutely right. What good is there to be gained by trying these murderers, these mass murderers, these war criminals in civilian courts that have rules designed for conventional crimes committed by conventional criminals, as Attorney General Mukasey once said? I mean, they're going to challenge the way they've been treated.
Absolutely.
They didn't get a Miranda warning. They didn't. What about the chain of evidence? Did we have all the legal constitutional niceties in a war respected? They're going to proclaim outrageous treatment and lie about it, and because they got it at the world stage. And this is going to serve to recruit additional jihadists, because they are going to attack America throughout this entire episode, the sorry episode, and they're going to try and get get support throughout the Muslim world for their cause by excoriating the United States of America, our values and our views, and why we have given a stage for these people to seek the martyrdom that they desire more than anything else, in order to depict themselves as serving a great cause of a perversion of a great religion. Why we're doing this is beyond me. And the President of the United States and his sanctimonious Attorney General, I think we will look back and say that they did this on a Friday afternoon because it was a cowardly act that was not in the interest of the United States of America.
All right, now, some people feel that the reason they did this, particularly Attorney General Holder, is because he wants to put you and the rest of the Bush administration on trial, as well as Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. So there are people who believe, look, this is a political play as well, because they'll be able to embarrass the Bush administration, embarrass the Central Intelligence Agency, and at the same time probably get a conviction against Mohammed. So for the Obama administration, they get the conviction and they discredit you guys.
Well, look, it is a sorry, sordid little petty political maneuver if that's what they want to do. But look, let's be clear about this. The United States of America's cause will suffer in the Muslim world because, you know, the truth runs at about 20 miles an hour, lies go at about 500 miles an hour, and these lies are going to course through the Muslim world and inflame resentment against the United States of America.
Every accusation that the lawyers for Mohammed and the other 4 terrorists, because there are going to be 4 other ones tried in civilian court here in New York, is going to be top-lined in every Arabic newspaper in the world. Now,
absolutely,
the police chief of New York City, Ray Kelly, who I respect, and the mayor, Bloomberg, and I think he's okay too, both have issued statements saying this is okay with them because they believe that the guy who orchestrated 9/11 should be tried in the shadow of the death. And you say what to that?
I say that I appreciate the sentiment, but there's a greater issue here. Think about this. Sources and methods of American intelligence are going to be disclosed in public court. These defenders, their lawyers, are going to seek every opportunity to share the secrets of how they were captured, what they know, what they have communicated to their captors, and the ways in which it was those information was extracted. They're going to share those publicly. So we're going to compromise sources and methods of intelligence. In fact, General Mukasey made an interesting point that we're likely to see some charges not filed because it would clearly compromise sources and methods of intelligence that even this administration is not willing to give up. So while I appreciate Mayor Bloomberg and his police chief saying we can handle it, that's not the case. The question is this in the interest of the security?
Well, certainly
not
not
in the United States of America.
The interest of the 9/11 families. I mean, that's for sure. Now,
can you imagine how we're going to put them through?
Yeah, I know. I mean, and that's my primary concern, along with security for the folks who live in this area. But I've asked you this question before, and I'm going to ask it again. President Bush had 2 years where Khalid Sheikh Mohammed was in Guantanamo Bay, and he could have gotten, I think, you guys could have gotten a case before a military tribunal and taken care of this. Instead, you allowed it to drift on, and now the Obama people are in charge, and here's what they're doing. I think you guys should have nailed it down when you had the chance.
Even military tribunals are subject to outside pressures, and a lot of outside pressures were put by lawyers who have been recruited by Holder to serve inside this Justice Department. This is a continuation of a long-standing plot by a bunch of left-wing lawyers who do not love America, who want to undermine our cause in the global war on terror, and who oppose the military tribunals.
But they blocked you. These lawyers blocked you.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
They blocked you from taking
Absolutely, they blocked us. I mean, where do you think we ended up in the Supreme Court with this nutty decision on Hamdan, Osama bin Laden's driver? It was because of outside lawyers pressuring the system. So look, we ought not to be in a rush to go to military tribunals. We ought to be in a rush to get these people and lock them up and keep them locked up. And the idea that we're now going to go to civilian courts in the United States. I mean, think about the practical problems. We talked about the security threat to the United States, but think about the practical problem of how many U.S. Marshals are going to need to be to control the security of the courthouse, of the jurors and the judges. Imagine about those jurors who are now going to have to be anonymous. I mean, could you imagine how much Osama bin Laden or some al-Qaeda lone wolf terrorist would love to kill a judge or a juror who's involved in this?
It is going to be a very difficult thing, and it's going to take 4 years. Zacharias Moussaoui took that long, and tens of millions. Mr. Rove, as always, thank you very much.